Hi, my name is Marissa Iacono, and I'm going to have an interview with an internet marketer guru here, Reed Floren, who I've been dating for a little over a year now, and he's taught me a lot of things about information online. So I hope you can learn something from him as much as I've learned from him.
Great. Well, thanks for having me, Marissa. It's a lot of
Yes.
fun to be here.
Thanks for helping me with this interview.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, what kinds of information can be sold online?
Well, there's a lot of different information that someone could sell online, and what I like to stick to is information on how to use a website and make money from the website, because there's a lot of people out there who want to have a website and they want to make money from their website. So I focus on that, but other people, there's a lot of people that sell information on like how to train their dog. There's a lot of people that sell information on like in the stock market niche. There's people that sell information on how to pick up women. And there's just a lot of different information. Basically, if it solves a problem, there's people out there who want to buy it. A lot of people will also buy software. I mean, look at how rich Bill Gates is. A lot of people bought his software. There's people who will go and buy seminars, coaching programs. There's a lot of different things that people can buy online, and it's basically a lot of information.
So what would be like an easy product to make that you could sell online for starters?
One of the easiest products that you can make is doing an interview, like we're doing right now. Because all you have to do is connect with someone who knows the topic, and then you ask them intelligent questions, and you can turn that into a product. It could be an interview like we're doing with a camera, or it could be like an over-the-phone interview. Maybe they live in a different part of the world, or a different part of your country, and you just give them a phone call. And a lot of people are willing to share their information because it gives them sort of an ego boost. It makes them feel good about giving out information like this.
So, well, you mentioned interview and you mentioned seminars. Are there any other products that people can sell online?
A lot of people will buy like videos that show them how to do something. So maybe you're using Camtasia and you create a screen capture video that shows exactly what you're doing on your screen. And that's really helpful to people. Other people will buy other audio collections. Maybe they'll buy PowerPoints. There's a lot of different products that people will buy. And oftentimes it's just a different display of the information. So, like, you could have a book, and then you could take the content from that book, and then you could turn that into, like, a video series, or an audio series. And then that could turn into a home study course, or it could turn into a seminar that you teach.
Cool. So, how can someone go about, like, they make their product, now how can they sell their product?
Well, one of the easiest ways to sell information online is to get other people to promote it. And that's what's called an affiliate program. You get a bunch of people to promote your product, and then you pay them a commission when they make a sale. So oftentimes I'll connect with a whole bunch of marketers out there, and I'll give them 50% or higher commission to promote one of my products. So say it's a $100 product and I'm paying out 50%, they're going to get $50 just for sending out an email or putting out a blog post or whatever they're doing to promote my product. Each and every time they sell one of those products, they're going to get a $50 check from me.
So it's like, how do I say this? Like, is it the 50% from like your profit or from what it actually took to make the product? If you were selling a transcript or something, you would always obviously have to pay for the ink and the paper or something.
Well, a transcript could be downloaded too. There's people that this is typically, when I'm talking about commissions that high, is typically a product that's digital.
Okay.
So it's something that can download. So your costs, once you've created the product and put it all together, you don't really have much for costs. It's just your hosting account, which really is minimal. So you just give out a download link, and those people can download it, and it doesn't really cost you anything. That's how you can give out really high commissions. I've seen people give out commissions as high as 200% on a product. So say it's a
how does that work?
Say it's a $20 product, then they'll give out $40. Now they did that because they wanted to build their list, because they realized that having a list is where the money really is. You make a lot of money on your product, and you can do massive success. I've seen people do 6- and 7-figure paydays just from having a product launch. Now, I'm not saying that's how your first product is going to be. I'm not saying that any of your products are ever going to do that well. But that happens, and it's very exciting to see especially when it's something you've created, to see that you can have that kind of success. Even if you just make a couple $100s or a couple $1,000s, that's still incredible, and that's more than likely more than you made in your job.
Mhm. So there are obviously different types of like qualities of products, and you would obviously want, like, you can't just make a video and be like, "That's my video. I didn't really care about it, but I'm gonna sell it online." So, like, the person obviously is gonna care about what they're selling because it's one of their hobbies. But how would you know that the product that you're trying to make is going to be a high quality product?
Well, one of the easiest ways for that is to really model products that you've liked in the past. If you've seen products and you've purchased products that you've really liked, and maybe you want to tell your friends about them, then that's a product that you should model after. You should take note of what you liked about that and maybe incorporate that into your product. Maybe you got a book somewhere and it had a table of contents, and the table of contents was laid out in a way that you really liked, or it had an index. You could model that and incorporate that into your book. Or maybe it had a header or a footer you liked, or maybe it summarized the chapters up. That's something that I usually like, is if there's kind of a summary of the chapter at the end of a chapter of a nonfiction book. It might have a couple paragraphs that sum up. You see that more in maybe college textbooks than you do in traditional books. There's different things that they'll do to kind of help you review information. So that's really interesting, and I think that's something that a lot of information products could benefit from. If you can put in something like that, it would be really helpful.
No, like, I don't know, when you say that you model something that, well, this product was already made, but why would I already remake it? Because that was already made. So
well, it wouldn't have to be something.
It's very intimidating to, like, model something like, oh, well, that's a great idea. That's really cool. Well, that's already made, so that's out of the question. That's what goes on in my mind.
Well, that's a good thing. Let's say you got a product on how to train a dog, and you really liked how that product was laid out. But you maybe are an eBay power seller, and you've sold a lot of stuff on eBay, and you can teach people how to sell a lot of stuff on eBay and make money off of eBay. You could model the aspects of the how to train your dog product and incorporate that into your eBay product that you're going to sell. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So, do you have any tips on, like, being successful with the internet marketing business?
It's all really about mindset. I mean, a lot of things changed for me when I started shifting gears with my mindset. I used to think, well, I've got to have a completely original idea, and it's got to be an idea that makes me at least $1 million just from doing it, and those were kind of what stopped me from doing a lot of things. It was like, oh, well, it's got to, it can't be a whole lot of work, and it's got to make me this much money to start off with, and it's got to do this and do that, and it's really hard to do that. Really, it paralyzes you. So what I did is I looked for an easy way to create income that lets me live my life quite leisurely, lets me do whatever I want to do, and oftentimes when I'm out doing something, like, the other night we went out and we spent over $100 on our dinner, which I would think that most of you watching would agree that that's pretty expensive for just dinner. And during that time, I recouped quite a bit of that while we were out, and before the night was up, I made way more than what dinner cost. Just from that, I'd say, just during that day, I made at least 10 times what dinner was. And I'm not saying you're going to have days like that all the time, but if you can produce a business that does something like that, you can really have freedom, and it allows you to do whatever you want to do. And, I kind of joke about being semi-retired, but I really am. It's not like, if I were making this money through, like, investments, and say I'd probably need millions upon millions of dollars to earn the kind of returns I'm getting every day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To be able to produce several hundred or several $1,000s a day on autopilot, it would really take a lot of money invested to do that. And you'd have a lot of risk, too. I mean, odds are if you had that kind of money, you're not just going to have it like in a bank account. It's going to be in something a little more high end. Maybe it's in real estate, or maybe it's in other businesses, or maybe it's in the stock market. And in reality, you could lose all that. Odds are you probably won't, but in reality, you could.
So, like, do you have any recommendations on how to actually change the mindset? Because most people have grown up to be, you go to school, you get your high school degree, you go to college, you work for someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's ingrained in the majority of
99% of us.
99% of us,
say
it's
at
ingrained into our brain that that's how you become successful, by working hard and by putting a lot of time and effort into everything. But creating information products seems really easy, and especially online, because it can be readily available to everyone in the whole world. And it's very difficult to change your mindset. So how did you figure out how to change your mindset?
Well, the thing that really shifted for me is when I realized that all the people that are always saying, go to college, get a good degree, go work for somebody, those were the same people who would always complain about bills, and never having enough money, they never had free time, they never traveled, they never were able to do what they wanted to do. But they were always telling me the exact same advice. And they were the exact same people who were mortified that I didn't go to college. Now, I have more time, more money, more freedom, and basically I can do whatever I want to do while they're still in the same boat, or maybe worse off. I mean, look at the economy. As we're recording this, the economy is bad. At least that's what the media is telling us. The economy is doing horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And, some of those people that were telling me, go get a good job, go to college, get a big degree, do well that way and work your way up, they might have been laid off during that time. It's been a few years since I've been out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And odds are, look at any of my classmates. They're either in college, just completed college, dropped out, never went, or maybe they're in the armed services.
Mm-hmm.
But more than likely, they're going to have a whole bunch of debt, and their income's going to cap at a certain level. Where in reality, the sky's the limit for our income, for what we do online. And that's really interesting. It just really amounts to what you can do and how big your list is and the relationship you have with your list. And that really skyrockets you to success. Another thing is look at like movie stars and musicians that are famous, people like that, and you have to realize that their CD or their DVD is a product. You have to realize that, wow, that person's successful, and the thing that makes them successful is they have this product that's making them money 24/7. If you're a successful musician, you're going to make money off of those CD sales all the time, or those iTunes downloads all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you did the work once, and you're going to keep getting money over and over again because you're going to get a royalty check.
Yep. So, you became successful. I know there's a lot of people talk about branding.
Mm-hmm.
Is that another thing that you can do to yourself to help you become more successful?
Oh, definitely. I mean, branding is really important. Look at all the companies out there that are much bigger than any of us internet marketers. There's tons of companies. Look at like Coca-Cola. Look at McDonald's. Look at even Walmart. They're all big brands. They do a lot of image advertising, a lot of branding to put themselves as sort of the number one in their market. So a lot of people think of Coke as being one of the top drinks, and it is. I mean, it's much bigger than Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
It's, in parts of our country, people say, do you want a Coke? And I mean, that could be a Sprite or a Mellow Yellow or a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi. It could be anything, but they say, I want a Coke.
Mm-hmm.
It's instead of soda or pop, depending on where you are in the country, there's people that say Coke.
Yep.
Same thing with Kleenex. There's a company that makes Kleenex. That's the name of their company. That's the name of their tissue. And now there's stuff to blow your nose is all called Kleenex, even though that's, it could be whatever the...
When you're using a Puffs.
Yeah, it could be Puffs, but it is a Kleenex. You call it a Kleenex. Even though that's the registered trademark of some successful company, because that was their branding. They branded that. So that's really exciting, really interesting, and I feel that if you can brand yourself, and maybe, what I did is I started calling myself the joint venture broker. So I used the word "the" to make it sound like there was third party credibility, which was basically saying that this is the person to go to. Let's say you're new in town and you want to have a doctor or a dentist or somebody as your main physician. You would ask, well, who's the doctor I should go to, or who's the dentist I should go to? And you're going to ask, people that you see, and they're usually going to say like one or two different names, because those are the people that have established themselves in the marketplace, and they've branded themselves as the person to go to.
So, like, how would someone else go by, you are the joint venture broker, but there are obviously different things. So besides just using the word "the," is there anything else that you can use to brand yourself?
That's the easiest thing. I mean, another thing could be like putting your name in front of your product. So I could be like Reed Floren's Traffic Secrets.
Yep.
And that would brand that product as being something that I created. So it's just another example that's really easy to do. Basically, you want to just ingrain and kind of pound into your customers' your prospects and your customers' minds that you're the go-to person, you're the go-to authority on that, and then you get your joint venture partners and your affiliates and other friends of yours to say that kind of stuff about you, and that really puts you as the number one position. It's all about positioning.
So, like, if you're creative with the computer or something, could you have like a logo or?
Yeah, or you could hire someone to make a logo.
Do slogans work at all?
They can. I mean, someone could come up with a slogan, and I could see them having success. I know in traditional advertising, there's a lot of slogans. I mean, there's way too many for us to list here. And I'm sure we'd even get confused with some of them.
Yeah.
It's just there's so many out there.
But, like, I don't know, it's just, using slogans, it's, well, I'm making this product, this is going to be my slogan, but this is the only slogan that I can use for this product, so it doesn't seem like you're branding the slogan to that product, but it's not really branding it to you, because you can't really use that slogan with anything else.
You might be able to do a slogan that's more, for you. I could just make something off the top of my head. Maybe my slogan for my joint venture services could be, bringing more customers to you, or something like that. That's really corny, but it gives you an example of what, you could do, some sort of catchphrase, I guess.
Yeah.
After your name. And that could be something that you maybe sign off your emails on, or any other correspondence with people, and people might realize that that's something you excel at. I know at one point I put public speaker, or professional speaker, actually, next to my name. And I got invited to speak at places just because I put it there. That I was capable of speaking at events, and I started getting asked by more people to speak at their events just because I was there. It was an instant correlation. I did that one change, and then I think it was that same day I got invited to speak somewhere. So it's just really interesting what you can do with the power of the internet.
That's very cool. Well, now that someone has their product, they think it's a very high quality product, but they don't know what to price it as to sell it online. How would you go about pricing?
Well, one of the easiest ways for pricing is to really see what your competition is doing, and then price maybe at their price or a little bit higher. I know that sounds kind of contrarian to what a lot of people think. They want to be just a little bit lower, or a lot lower than their competitor. But it really takes the same amount of effort to sell something that's maybe $10 as to sell something that's $100, or maybe even $1,000. It really isn't that much harder. You're just dealing with different clientele. So you can sell stuff day in and day out to people. You just have to do the right marketing. But for pricing, one thing that you could do is you could add some bonuses, or you could do some stuff to make your product stand out a little more. Maybe you have an e-cover graphic for your report that looks really fancy, or you have some sample video clips from your videos or something that you can give out on your sales page, and that might help you sell more.
So, like, you don't, people, I personally wouldn't be like, well, what is this product really worth? Is it really worth this much, or is it not worth very much? Um, like, earlier in this interview, you've talked about different types of things that you can sell online. Like, you can sell transcripts and books and interviews, and but then you can also like sell like or try to promote someone going to a seminar or a coaching program or a home study program, and those obviously the coaching program and the home study program has you put a lot more effort into it, so it's going to be more money than a
Oh, definitely.
interview.
Yep.
So, what is is there like a general rule of thumb about pricing for per different product?
Well, that really depends on what niche you're in, what your market is. Let's just pick the internet marketing niche because I know a lot of you are familiar with that market and you might want to create products in that market.
Mm-hmm.
So, a good rule of thumb is usually things like audios, maybe some small video things, some ebooks or special reports, things like that. Those are usually under 200, usually under 100 actually, but I'd say up to 200. And then things like home study programs and maybe some basic coaching might start at 297 or 497. Probably 497 is more typical. And then for the real high-end stuff, it's at least $1,000, at least $997. And then I've seen some programs that are. I promoted something not too long ago that was $10,000, and it goes up from there. I've seen things. I saw something. Now this was from a billionaire, but I believe it was $100,000 for 20 hours of individual coaching. That's a fair amount of money.
No kidding.
That's what, 5,000 an hour, I believe. That's not bad for a little bit of time.
Yep.
So it's a great way for him to make money, and it's a great way for you to tap into some knowledge from a billionaire. Yep. So that's a little bit different than the internet marketing niche, but it really shows you how much you can go, how far you can go. I know there's programs out there. I've seen programs for somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000. Can't remember the exact amount, but it was kind of inner circle coaching programs with real big name people.
Yep.
Like real big name, like self-improvement experts and people like that who could really open a lot of doors for you if that's something that you want to do.
So, like, does the look of your website have a lot to do with like sales, or like I know, like when I look at a website, it's like, oh, this is spelt. These words are spelt wrong. This is not very good English. I'm not going to spend as much money on it. So it's obviously important. And also with websites, like if they're trying to sell something online, they usually have like a testimonial link that you can click on. And I know I always like wonder, like I haven't given a testimonial unless someone has asked me to give them a testimonial. So is there like, how do you go about getting testimonials? Do you just ask, or?
Oftentimes I just ask. I mean, I know a lot of people online, and I know those of you starting out probably don't know a lot of people yet. So what you want to do is kind of develop a core group of people, maybe people you've bought products from, or other marketers you've met. Maybe you've gone to some internet marketing forums, and you could connect with some people. Or maybe you're on Facebook. There's a lot of internet marketers on Facebook that you can connect with. I mean, you've seen a lot of people online just because you've seen my Facebook and you've seen people that add me. I'm probably getting a good 25 people a day, typically, that add me. I mean, there's some slow days and there's some days that do a lot more.
Oh, I've gotten people that have known you
that know who I am and want to meet you.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible at what can happen there. So if you just kind of start connecting with people, you could really get a lot of testimonials, especially if you're doing things to build a relationship with someone. Maybe you've had a conversation with them before, maybe you know a little bit about them and they know a little bit about you. That really helps you get testimonials a lot faster because people want to deal with people they know, like, and trust.
So, well, I guess I don't really have anything else to say. Do you have any things that you would like to give tips to our viewers or that we haven't covered? Or
Sure, I could give kind of a nutshell version of how to be successful.
sure.
Basically, what you want to do is you want to pick a niche online that you know people are spending money on. And the easiest way to do that is see if you've spent money on. If maybe you've bought maybe 3 or 5 different products in that marketplace, it's obviously something you're passionate about. You probably know a fair enough about it, or a fair amount about it, because you're spending money, you're spending time, you're spending energy learning stuff from that information that you bought, or hopefully you're actually following through and doing stuff that you purchased. So you take that information, you start putting that all together, and you could turn that into some sort of report or maybe a video series or some audios. The other thing you could do is you could interview those people that you bought the products from. That can really, expand your product right there, because a lot of those people will be like, oh sure, especially if you show them that, hey, I've done this book and I have these videos and I've got this all together and I really like what you've done. Maybe you can give them a testimonial.
Yeah.
And say, hey, help me with this and help promote this, and I can promote your stuff later on too. All these guys want their stuff to be promoted. Guys and gals want all their information to be promoted, so it's going to make them more money. And they're willing to bend over kind of backwards for you to help you build your list, build your marketing up, and be able to promote them, because the bigger your list is and the bigger you are online, the more money you're going to make for them, the more sales you're going to make for them. So you do that, you create your product, you focus on kind of one thing at a time. I know when I'm working on 10 different products. Even the basics for this product that we're doing, I had, 10 or 12 products in that folder that were, a fair amount completed. But I hadn't done anything with them. I had my squeeze page done, I had a whole bunch of articles done related to it, I had a PowerPoint ready, everything kind of ready for a whole bunch of products, but I hadn't gotten to the point of following through and finishing them. And that's a part where a lot of marketers struggle with. They might have some ADD or something and want to focus on something else for a while. I think my struggle is I don't want to work at all. I've gotten so used to copy, paste, send money that I don't really want to do anything. It's like if it takes more effort than that, I'm not interested. And I mean, you've personally seen that. Being my girlfriend, that I'm not the best at wanting to actually work on something, and I used to be a pretty hard worker before we dated. Geez, that's all your fault. Huh?
Oh, whatever.
No, it's from having a list of loyal subscribers that want to buy stuff, and you can have that too. And really, you just build that list up, build your marketing up, start making some money online, and really the money's in the list. You're gonna make a lot more from your list than from your product. I'm comfortable giving away 100% commissions on a lot of different products of mine just because I know the list is worth a lot more. Now, I don't do that on all my products, but I know that to me the list is a lot more than what I'm going to make from the product. So don't worry about having a perfect product. I know I made mistakes during this interview. I said and kind of hemmed and hawed about different things, and that's normal. That's conversational. I want to show that I make mistakes too, and I still make money. It's a little bit of a marketing tactic. I'm not saying I intentionally made the mistakes, but I don't edit them out because I don't care. If you have a problem with that, talk to one of us. We'll refund your money. That's fine. You got good information out of this. I know that. I know if you actually follow these techniques and these steps that I outlaid, you're going to make money online.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Just because I've done it for myself, I've done it for my dad, we're going to do this together. There's a lot of different people I work with, and I help them make a lot of money online. And I know if it's worked for all of them, it can work for you. So you just have to follow the steps I've outlaid and just do it. Take action. Stop buying a whole bunch of other products. Just do something. Focus on one thing for a while and finish it, and then you will have learned something. Let's say that you spend 10 hours creating a product, and say it's a product that it's obviously something you would know a lot about if you're going to create it in 10 hours. But say you can sell it for $100, okay? And there's different markets you could do that. You could do that in internet marketing. You could do that in a lot of finance niches. I've seen that in the dating niche. There's a bunch of niches out there where people will spend a lot of money
Mhm.
on information because they want to solve that problem they've got. So you create that product. Maybe it takes you 10 hours. Let's say you just make one sale. Okay?
Mhm.
So over that 10 hours of work, if you call it that, I mean, it's really probably a hobby for you if you could
Mhm.
churn out something that quick
Yeah.
on a topic. It's something you're obviously passionate about, you obviously know a lot about. So, create that product, let's say you only sell one. Well, gee, 100 divided by 10 is $10. So you would have made $10 an hour having fun, learning a new skill, and trying something out. I'm sure you're going to feel good about yourself. I know, we went out to celebrate because she started working on her internet marketing business, and I was really excited, and I'm really proud of her for taking that step. Congratulate yourself. Perhaps you get that report done, or you get your videos done, or your audios done. Whatever you do with your product, perhaps you get that done. Do something to reward yourself. Go out to eat. Do something fun to reward yourself because you're on your way to a journey that can really change your life. It's done wonders for me. I've been marketing online since 1999, and most
Mhm.
of those years it was poverty level income.
Yep.
I was lucky that my parents, supported me, they nurtured me, and they had faith in me
Mhm.
that I'd eventually make it. And then it wasn't until, I don't know, 2 years or so ago when I actually started to make it. I cracked the code, and really what set it up for me was, products and a list.
Mhm.
And if you do that, you can be successful.
Mhm.
So I guess that's all I really have.
Well, I have another question.
Okay, sure.
You mentioned if you bought it online, chances are other people have also bought it
Mhm.
online. But with me, I'm always skeptical about online products being sold.
Mhm.
Is this person really reliable?
Mhm.
And so most of my stuff that I buy, I always buy at a store, so I have it physical in my hand when I pay for it.
Mhm.
So is it still a good? Would it still be in a high demand market even though you didn't you went out and bought something that you're interested in? And you're like, well, I bought this, and it wasn't online, but could there still be a market online for that even though you personally didn't buy anything online for it?
There definitely could be. I mean, there's some things that would obviously be kind of localized,
Mhm.
but you might be able to do stuff. Something that could be localized would be like landscaping services. You
Mhm.
might buy that a few times while you're at a house and get
Mhm.
different things done. And
Yeah.
obviously that'd be kind of hard to sell landscape services over the internet unless you did, localized or you did information on. Maybe
Mhm.
one thing is how to start your own landscaping business. That could be a product.
Mhm.
How to landscape your yard for maximum profit.
Mhm.
That's something else. Those are different examples of products that you could make for someone who's passionate about landscaping, and they might be able to make quite a bit of money off of those products.
Yeah.
I know those are two things that are really of interest. Starting a business is of interest, and being able to make money is of
Mhm.
interest. Those are things that are never going to die out as long as we have money. It's kind of the currency of the world. Is using money to pay for goods and services. People are always going to want to know how to start businesses and how to make more money, how to save money. I don't know how much money people are going to spend on how to save money, but making money and starting your own business are above and beyond what you can do in other markets. It's incredible what people will buy. A lot of people will buy a lot of scammy stuff.
Mhm.
But if you produce something that's valuable and can actually help people, you can get customers for life.
Yeah.
And they'll just buy stuff forever, and they'll put food on your table, and they'll let you have the freedom that you want just by promoting to them and making sure they get products that actually help them.
It's great. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, Marissa, and
Yes, thank you very much.
I hope the tips I shared will help you someday with your own internet business.